Alright, we're just getting ready to do some work on knuckleheads here. So we got a 46 over there and a 47 right here. So this one's the 47. This one over here is the 46 parts. 47, I got a new crank sitting here. This is a V20 crank, and the 46 is a new S&S crank on the way. So this one here is the one I did all the machining and welding on. Basically started over from blown up set of cases. So what we gotta do now is figure out what we're gonna do about the main bearings in here. Not sure the condition of them, where they're at, what size they are. Don't really know anything about it right now. But I can see they're not blown up yet or garbage. That one is missing, so that would be an issue. It's hard to hone something when you have no bearing in it. So that needs a case raise. Alright, this one over here. All the parts that came out of it. Most of the stuff is pretty dirty and nasty looking from bad oil. That'd be oil full of acid, which rusts and corrodes parts. The oil pump looks good. Looking at all these surfaces right where the gear teeth go. The oil pump works by pumping oil around the outside edge. Better have some gears over here somewhere. So these are the gears, pretty small, kind of maple-y. So the big ones are return and the small ones are feed. Basically, look at how sharp the teeth are, how many gouges are on the outside of it, how much shrapnel's gone through the center, big gouges and stuff. Doesn't look too bad. The body looks really good. Doesn't mean it's not worn out, but it's a good sign anyway. So the way the oil pump works is the oil sucks into the feed, fills up the bottom cavity here. The pump goes around the outside and pressurizes this cavity here, which is connected to the case over there, which pumps oil through the hole and feeds your motor. So the outside of the pump is the key. The other thing is how much stick up you got above the gasket surface. This one feels flush. That means there's basically nothing. So whatever the thickness of the gasket is, how much blow-by you're going to have escaping past the gears, not making pressure. So I always like it being 1 to 2 thou max, preferably 0 to 1. Where's my 6-inch scale? There it is. I like it where it doesn't drag, but there's no clearance. Okay, if you can slide this all the way across the face without hitting the gear, you know it's 0 or below. So you can see how this goes right across without really hitting. It's basically 0. That's not good. So the aftermarket gaskets on these are between 9 and 12 thou thick. And they're all pretty much the same. I have a bunch of old gaskets made by Excel Company. I used to make gaskets. And I think they were 4 thou thick. So that makes a big difference when you can use them. You can see a big gouge mark right there on the tooth, right up high here. Doesn't go all the way across the face, so it'll work. Doesn't look pretty, but doesn't have to be pretty to work. Doesn't matter which way they go down, they just go down. So it doesn't work that way, it works this way. And this one feels like the same problem. Yep. Zero or less. Here's our shaft. Doesn't appear to be too chewed up, which is a good thing. So that goes through there. hear the backlash or see it? That's pretty loose. Those teeth are worn out. All of that makes low oil pressure. Any gap in here allows the oil to escape up through. That pressurized oil goes back to the feed side. So these are pretty worn out, pretty loose. Not the best. Now this one over here had a brand new oil pump over here. Let's see what his teeth look like here. Let's steal some parts over here. He don't need them. You'll never know there's not gears in there, will you? I need to do the other one. Yeah, good question. There it is. Alright. Reproduction parts. Let's see if it's worth replacing these or living with them. That's not going to that. Okay. So, right off the bat, it doesn't fit. That makes it really hard to check anything when it won't even fit over the shaft. It's the same problem. Feels flush. Great. Nothing really fits. That's a little tight. Same problem. It's only hanging up like a thou or so. Alright, so these aren't much better, but these obviously do not fit very well. Wonderful. Okay, so we can't check those for obvious issues. Aftermarket shaft. Oh, look at that. Taiwan Teddy shafts fit right on their Taiwan Teddy parts. What a shocker. Taiwan Teddy fits Taiwan Teddy, but not American parts. Okay, so, ooh, that's got a big rust spot in there. Ooh, that has a big gouge. That's missing a chunk out of that. That is not good. That is not conducive to good oil pressure. It's on the return side, so you can tolerate a lot more crap. You can see how rounded the teeth are, all they're not very sharp edged. That's once again from trash going through the system. Yeah, it's got a big chunk of missing out of that one. And this one, you can see the whole side of these teeth over here. There's some serious amounts of junk running through those. But no big gouge in there, that's good. The one with the key on it goes on the shaft. The one without the key goes without the shaft. There's some loose again. It's always best to check it with the parts in there. Lots of clearance. And not hitting at all. So, this oil pump has got some issues with the gear teeth. Alright, so nail these these are a little on the big side, which can be fixed. Well, this has had a lot of trash run through it too, but excuse me, but not gouged up like the other one is. Alright, let's see if this one will fit on. Small hole. Oh, no oil groove. See, this is made to take the rotor valve in there. This one has no rotor valve. The rotor valve goes inside of here. It's a limiter device right here, and he wanted to use it. So this at a lower RPM, it shuts the oil flow down, so you have no oil pressure idle, if you even had it anyway. And at a higher RPM, it'll I don't know if it bleeds. Maybe it goes the other way. Maybe at higher RPM it bleeds it off. I don't know. All I know is it limits. It's a governor, so probably at higher RPM it limits what it can do. Harley quit using them for a good reason, and he wants to keep it in the bike because it's stock. So somewhere in 47, 48, they learned their lesson. These were no good, and they quit using them because they're using them in the early panhead motors too. And then they fill the oil pump. They would come in here and had a kit where you weld this hole up here, the feed hole. That's the plate that feeds through. And then they came out with a plate that had no holes in it. That was on the recall kit. But they didn't call it recall back there, they call it repair kit. And then you would see these that are not machined, would be on later pumps, but not machined. No hole in them. And then later oil pumps, there would be no hole in here either. They wouldn't drill a hole. So depending on what year the pump is, they have 3 modifications that could be done to it. So, wonderful. There, that one fit on there. Nice and tight. Not hitting on anything though. So is this one going to fit on the shaft? Oh, this one fits on the shaft. There we go. And old Taiwan Teddy. Looks like his teeth are worn out too. About half as much as the worn stock Harley one, the worn out used ones, but so there's really not a lot of gain there, except he's got a big chunk miss now, this one, so he needs another gear. And that was the rotor gear that was the one that was bad, isn't it? Oh yeah, the one that Taiwan Teddy doesn't make. Well, that thing is rounded way over. Alright, so he needs one of these gears to fix the problem we don't have. So maybe I can talk him into not putting this pile of crap in the motor. And I think a new gear would not hurt. If not a new pair of gears. If nothing else, it'd be tighter on the, slightly tighter. Not much. I don't know. They're pretty loose. Oh, now it doesn't want to come off. Gotta hold your tongue just right, I guess. Maybe you gotta have this keyway in the right spot. Ah, that's the secret. It's all about the rotation. Yeah, those are definitely looser. Definitely got more clearance. Probably not a third more, twice as much. Alright, so it's got some issues with these parts. Same problem here. Gotta line the key up to get it out. Yep. That means there's a burr on this. Alright. That did not go on that shaft at all. Nope. Oop, oop, trying to go. Oop. Not really. It's about a thou, too big. That means a couple thou. Need some clearance too. So I can probably hone that out to get the clearance if we want to replace it, but it doesn't look like the Taiwan Teddy stuff is much better than the old Harley stuff, so not much to be gained. So to gain oil pressure on this pump, you have to grind this pump face down the thickness of your gasket so that the gear will have protrusion. So when you put the gasket on there, it'll be basically flush when you're all tightened down, but it would rotate. So that means you have to have at least 1 thou clearance or half a thou clearance. Some clearance, not much, a little bit. So this would have to be all ground down to do that. And that's more than just do with a piece of sanding disc on a sanding block. Better than nothing, but that is not really the way to do it. Correct way is to surface grind it. The pin comes out, push it out, yeah, shaft. Take that out, and the pump's flat on both sides at that point, and have it ground down. So that's what you do to make that work better. So there you go. Didn't get very far in that job, did we? That needs to be replaced. Okay, other parts, got other issues. Alright, we'll be back.